What's up, everybody? It is your boy Tim, back with another video. Been walking around exploring areas of the city of Seattle since like 7 o'clock this morning. It's now going on like 4 o'clock, and I decided that I need to sit down and like let my feet and my calves and my knees and my lower back rest, okay? Sometimes there's nothing wrong with finding you a shade tree and sitting down, having a little water and just rehydrating and relaxing. So I wanted to turn the camera on and I wanted to talk about overcoming insecurities, okay? And this is a topic I've kind of touched on before, but I wanted to do a video just kind of really talking about kind of my struggle with insecurity and how I'm finally just starting to like get a handle on it, okay? So for most of my life, I just felt like I wasn't good enough. Everybody was cooler. Everybody was better. For a long time, it felt like everybody else was like living and really like getting the most out of life. And I was kind of just like observing. Like I wasn't good enough to really be living like everybody else. I was here. I was observing. I could watch other people, but it just seemed like they were living life on a different level than me almost. And I just never felt like I was good enough. I felt like everybody was better. Every man was manlier than me. Like I was missing like some manly qualities. Just people just seemed to everybody else seemed to be good. And I was just like not quite good enough. Okay. And this is kind of a interesting way to live your life because it sabotages you on so many different levels. And pretty much everything you want to do in life, you start out from a position of like less. And you definitely have a scarcity mindset when it comes to you and pretty much everything else you're involved in. And you almost set yourself up for failure from the jump. Because I know for me, I was always surprised when things worked out. I was always surprised when I got with the girl I wanted to get with. I was always surprised when I got the job I wanted. I was always surprised when I got the car I wanted. Like it was a surprise. Life is not supposed to be that way, I know now. Okay, in life, you're supposed to set your sights on things and go after them. And you're going to get a lot of them if you have the right mindset and you put in the work. But there was a time I just felt like other people that might be true for. Other people seem to always get what they wanted out of life. But once again, I wasn't good enough, so I didn't. And it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because when you start out saying, yeah, this probably isn't going to work, it does not work. Yeah, probably not going to, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And so you just keep getting beaten further and further down. Before, I thought everybody was here, and I thought I was here. As time passed, it kept getting lower and lower and lower and lower and lower, because everything I was trying to do, a lot of the things I should say I was trying to do, I was failing at, because I set myself up for failure. But the crazy part was, it didn't tip the scale back up this way when, good things were happening, because my mindset was like, oh, that was just a miracle. That was a fluke. Well, every now and then, they got to throw your boy a bone, So I spent most of my life living that way. And anyone who's going through the same thing or been through the same thing knows that's not really a way to live. Here recently, I've been able to change this, and so much of it has to do with mindset. Actually, let's go back before the mindset. One of the things, the first thing I started doing was that I realized that there were certain things I wanted to do in this life, and I just decided I was going to do them no matter what. So what if I'm not good enough to do it? I want to do it, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? You can get to that point where it's just like I'm tired of just, beating myself up, not doing what I want to do in this life, not getting what I want out of this life. There's things I want to do. I'm gonna figure out a way to do them, and I'm gonna do them even if I'm not cool enough to do them. Right? I'm gonna do them even if like other people do them better. I'm gonna still do them. And what I found was, even when things worked in my favor, it didn't really move the needle. As I started doing more things and accomplishing more things and getting more wins in life, it did start to move the needle. I did start to think, I did start feeling like I was getting closer to where everybody else was at. This really wasn't my initial intention, but it started to happen. But it was because I started doing so many more things in life. And this is why I'm a big believer in like doing the things you want to do in life. Because not only does it feel good to like live the life you want to live, it also helps out your self-esteem and your confidence so much. It helps out your self-esteem. It helps out your confidence. It builds up, that, your insecurities start to go away because you start to see yourself winning. And you're like, man, if I'm winning this much, some of this has got to be me. You know what I mean? When you win, once a year, you're like, that's a fluke. But if you win like 10 times a year, if you accomplish 10 things every year, you're like, okay, some of this has got to be me. Okay, and then another thing is too, the more you start doing the things in life you want to do and allowing yourself to take risk and go out there and accomplish things, other people start to be like, oh man, that's awesome. I wish I could be more like that. And a lot of times it will be people that you formerly looked up to and thought were better than you. Okay? You thought they were up here, you were down here. You see these people be like, man, that's crazy what you're doing. I wish I could do that. And then you start to see, one of the things I learned was that on some level, like everybody's insecure. Maybe everybody didn't suffer from insecurity as bad as I did. Maybe everybody's self-esteem wasn't as low as mine. But on some level, we all struggle with feeling inadequate, feeling like we're not good enough. Okay, so when I started seeing that people that I thought should just have like the best self-esteem in the world, because they were pretty and they got all the girls or got all the guys and they had, nice things and all this other stuff that I thought should make people like happy and have great, self-esteem. And some of them had just as many insecurities as me. I started to see like, oh, okay, this whole thing isn't real. This whole thing is not real. This is just all in our heads. And that's when the mindset change came in. I'm like, okay, this is all in my head. All right, I have told myself for years, I'm not good enough, I'm not cute enough, I'm not big enough, I'm not manly enough, all these I'm not enoughs. I had told myself this for years. And like I said, it became a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I had to tell myself, it was me, maybe there were some things that happened that got me thinking along this line. But it was basically me who put myself in this position. I'm the one who dug myself into this like insecurity hole. But instead of blaming myself, I was like, this is a good thing because that means I can dig myself out. I can put the dirt back in the hole and I can come up out of the hole. So I realized it was me. It was my mindset. And so I just had to start telling myself, I am good enough. One of my favorite positive affirmations, and I write it in my journal and I say it every day, is I am good enough. Another one I say is I am loved and I'm worthy of even more love. Because I think one of the byproducts of like low self-esteem, insecurities, is we feel like we're not worthy of love. And that is the ultimate insecurity. That is the ultimate thing. If you cut yourself off from love, love is the fabric of the freaking universe. The Bible says God is love. All the other holy books equate love and, the divine one or the source of the universe. If you feel like you're not good enough to be loved and to have love, well, you're cutting yourself off like from life itself. So I love saying, I am loved, and I ponder on the people I have in my life who do love me, and I ponder on the fact that I'm worthy of even more love. Why? Because I'm a human just like everybody else. That's one thing you have to realize. We all are humans. We all are equal. We like to think of equality on the level of, race and gender and sexual orientation. But like at the end of the day, we all are totally equal. We have different circumstances, we look different, things like that, but we're all equal. We all should have the same level of confidence. There are no special people. There are no better people. Okay? There may be people who seem to navigate through certain aspects of life better. There might be people that were given a better financial hand to play. There might be people who had a better childhood. There might be people who, found true love quicker. But there are no better people. At the end of the day, we all can take the hand we've been given and have a wonderful life, or have a great life, or try our best to have the best life we can out of it. Because for a lot of it, like me, like I used to be, like I am still to some extent, like I said, I'm working on this. I have not totally conquered it. I still find myself in some situations where I'm like, Tim, stop. But I stop myself now. I don't let myself just like stay in that space. I don't let myself just stay down there thinking I'm nobody. I stop myself and I'm like, Tim, I know you feel inferior in this situation, but you're not. And here's the thing too. A lot of times when we feel inferior, we try to find a reason to like pull other people down so we feel superior. That doesn't work either. Because I think on some level, if I think somebody's superior to me and I try to find something about them to pull them down so I feel superior to them, in the back of my mind, I still think they're superior to me on some level. So when I try to pull them down, I'm pulling myself down too. You know what I mean? Like if I think somebody's here in the back of my mind and I think I'm here, but I try to come up with some reason to pull them down, I just pull myself down too. So I think the thing to do is just to try to level the playing field. If you're feeling down here and someone's here, just be like, nope, I'm just as good as them. I'm just as good as them. I don't have to think negative thoughts about them. I don't try to have to put them down. I just have to remind myself I'm just as good as everyone else on this planet. We all have positive qualities that, it's ironically, other people look at us and think we're better than them because of. It's really just this one big game we're all playing, where we all have these insecurities and self-esteem issues, and we just look at different people for different things and think they're better than us, or we're not as good as them because of that. Someone might look at, I've had people tell me this. People who I looked at was like, man, that dude's got it all together. You know what I mean? He's cute. He's good body. He gets all these women. Things that in my mind seem like a big deal. I've had people like that be like, man, Tim, like, yeah, that stuff is whatever. But man, like all through school, man, I was always like, how did Tim get such good grades, man? Like, how was he smart? Like, that dude's got it all together. You know what I mean? Like, and it's so many different things. Those are just a couple examples. There are so many different things. We're all just looking at other people thinking they're better than us and we're not good enough. When at the end of the day, if you take all our attributes and like weigh them out, we're all pretty much the same across the board. The only people who might truly be doing a little better is the people who realize that it's all about mindset. It's all about the thoughts you tell yourself about yourself. Those people have figured it out. They tell themselves good things. Okay, that's what I'm a big believer in positive affirmations, and pretty much all of them start with I. Not because, I think I'm anything more special than anyone else, but because I need to make myself believe I'm as special as everyone else. And that takes constant work, especially in the world we live in, where so many, there are some things in this world, beauty, money, things like that are looked at as like, the creme de la creme. And if people have those things, the world, society wants you to believe that like they're better than you. So in a world like that, we have to constantly be reminding ourselves that those aren't the only metrics that matter. We have to constantly be reminding ourselves that we're equal. We're just as good as everyone else. We're loved. We're worthy of more love. We have the ability to do what we want in this life. We're free. We're grown. And just that, the universe does not look at someone and say, oh, that person's a 10. I'm going to give them more opportunity in life. The universe does not look at a person and say, oh, that person has $200,000 in the bank. I'm going to give them more opportunity in life. Society does. The world we live in does, but the universe does not. And the universe trumps society. The universe trumps society. So I try to live my life on like a much more spiritual level now. I try to get in tune with the universe. I try to have my mind in tune with the universe and just realize like I am just as good as everyone else. God, the universe, whatever, sees me equally to the most rich, the most famous, the most pretty person out there. I'm just as good as them in the universe's eyes. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be open to the blessings that the universe has for me. I'm going to do the things I want to do in life because I know by doing those things, I build up my confidence. I'm going to keep telling myself every single day, my positive affirmations that I'm good enough, I'm loved, and I'm going to live my life in that manner. And what I've started to see is that has become a self-fulfilling prophecy. A lot of that stuff was already there, was already waiting for me, but it took me opening the door and accepting it and believing it and being willing to to believe it could happen to me for it to happen. And so that is how I'm starting to overcome my insecurities. I'm just refusing to feed into them. I'm just refusing to feed into them. And slowly but surely, a lot of them are leaving. Some of the more deep-seated, deep-rooted ones are still there. We're working on them. But a lot of the ones I had before, gone. Can't even remember what some of them were. And I'm starting to see, some of the ones I have now going away. Anyway, I know this was kind of a long video, but this is a topic that I know just this little mindset shift can open up a whole new life, new world to somebody. So please, if you think you're not good enough, if you think you're not pretty enough, if you're not womanly enough or manly enough or not smart enough or whatever it is, please know that's not true. Please know that's all in your head. And the good news is, since it's your head and it's in there, you can change that. And you're strong enough to do that. The universe will give you the power you need to do that. And the day will come when you don't believe that.